This week on Dumb Pitches, my guest is Sarah Colonna, and you will hear maybe the only pasta-based detective true crime book you've ever been pitched, and it's hilarious. It's wonderful. Our sponsor is Clutch Women, also a product of Sarah Colonna. It's a great episode, so here we go.
What a bunch of dumb pitches. Oh my goodness.
Welcome to another episode of Dumb Pitches with Monica Nevi. I'm your host. Thanks for being here. Our small business sponsor this week is Clutch Women. Are you tired of going to a stadium and having to use a clear bag or throw your shit away? Clutch Women. It is stadium regulation-sized handbags for women who are clutch. That's a beautiful, beautiful tagline. These bags fit requirements for most professional college stadiums, concerts, whatever you're doing. You can get sweet team colors if you want, or an everyday clutch. It's great. Check it out, clutchwomen.com. Which brings me to my lovely, lovely guest this week. Welcome, Sarah Colonna.
Hi, girl. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. See, I'm so glad that you talked about Clutch Women because it proves I had a good idea.
Right. I was like, we'll go into it. It fits with what we do. So this works perfectly. And if you want to just pull that out, you can use that for a commercial.
I will, especially the tired of throwing your shit away part, because that's 100% true.
That is how often am I like, oh, damn it. Now I got to throw this, or TSA or whatever. And I'm like, well, there goes that nice lotion I just paid for. Well, thank you for being here. I'm excited. We always like to start with your good ideas so that everyone knows you're not just full of bad ideas.
Not a complete failure. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
nice.
If you don't know, Sarah Colonna, she was on Chelsea Lately, a writer there. She created and produced After Lately, which was a scripted show after that. She has a Hulu special. She's got 2 New York Times best-selling books. Let's see, what else? You're on Insatiable, Shameless. You have a new podcast that's called Are You My Podcast, where you talk about Lifetime movies and stuff like that, which is great, and my mother loves it.
Awesome.
Yeah, so you've had plenty of good ideas. You're also a great stand-up comedian that we've worked together many times, and one of my favorite people. So plenty of good ideas. Oh, good. I like to lead you right into it so you can give me a compliment back. Thank you. All right. So when I explained it to you, what did you come up with for bad ideas?
Well, so I did, because I've written a couple books. One day I was like, God, I feel like I could write. It was kind of my mom's fault. She said, I feel like you could write fiction instead of always saying, I feel like you'd be a good fiction writer. I think she was like, quit telling stories about all the people you've had sex with and maybe write something false so that I don't have to cry myself to sleep every night. So, and I was like, there was a moment where I thought it would be fun to do like a detective series. Mm-hmm. And at the time I was doing a lot of reading I like to read like not horror books, but like murdery, cheesy sort of, probably why I like Lifetime movies, but just, there's a murder and someone's got to find out why, that kind of thing.
Right. Anything with murder. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. A lot of murder. And, but I was reading a series for a while where it was like this woman, one of the cops was was like a detective, and she was Italian, and I don't know. And I was like, I could easily write the same kind of novels. And I decided I was going to do a series of books around a woman named Lorena Rigatoni.
Okay.
And she was going to be a Boston Italian cop with a chip on her shoulder, something to prove. And that's as far as I got.
That's it. Well, okay, so where does the chip come from? I love it that you're like, she's Italian. What's Italian? Rigatoni.
Rigatoni.
Because you couldn't say spaghetti. That's too stupid.
No, that's so stupid. Right. Monica. This is an amazing idea. I mean, I thought about fusilli for a while because it does seem like that could be a last name or a pasta, but I went with rigatoni. And I think I wanted them to be kind of ridiculous, but when I pitched it to my book agent, he was like, it's a little too ridiculous. Like you've got to have a medium ground here. So maybe you could you could come back with a better idea. I wanted, the chip on her shoulder, just the basics. Like she was a woman in a man's world, and always having to prove herself. And
Right.
she was always going to go home at the end of the day and drink her red wine and talk to her cat. Probably
Classic.
have some pasta, maybe even rigatoni.
That was why she always had pasta after every mystery solved.
Yeah,
so you
that's a good way to celebrate.
Yeah.
I just came up with that part, by the way. So now this idea is not dead, just FYI.
It's a reboot here. So you actually
Mhm.
pitched it to your book agent.
I did, not fully. I just said, what about if I did a detective series about a woman named Lorena Rigatoni who has a chip on her shoulder and solves crimes? And he said, no.
No. It was like, let's not. That's okay. So
and I was like, but my mom said I could write fiction.
I'm wondering what your mom envisioned. Have you told her that this was an idea you had? Was she like, that's not what I was talking about?
I haven't told her yet, but now I want to. And I like to believe that she'd be like, I would order those books right away. I would completely read all the 12 books in that series.
You're like, 12. We're not even going to start with one. We're going to write 12, put them out as a group so you can binge read these.
Well, because now that you gave me the idea that at the end of every mystery, she eats a nice bowl of pasta. Well, there's a lot of different, there's capellini, there's lasagna, there's all these. I've got to have like a book for each one.
That's true. Is there other people, I guess, involved that also have pasta names, or she just happened to be the one that?
I mean, I wouldn't. Do you think I'd kick the idea of a Detective Ravioli out of bed? Like, absolutely not. Or the lady who works at the morgue, like Shirley Capellini.
Yes.
Come on.
That's a good one. Like, Shirley. I love that name too.
Actually, Shirley Ravioli goes better together.
Shirley Ravioli.
Yeah, I just changed that. But yeah.
I mean, we're workshopping here. Now I'm in. This is what happens every time I hear an idea and everybody's like, yeah, I really thought about it. And I'm like, well, let's think about it then. So murders though? Is she's in the murder department? I don't know.
Yeah,
I haven't clearly
whatever
watched.
It's called. Yeah. Sure, I should probably look at. Would probably have to do some sort of research.
Homicide unit.
Homicide unit. There you go. Okay. I was gonna say homicide department, but unit sounds more like I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, murder department.
She's in the homicide unit, and I don't know why I picked Boston, but I just feel like people have Italian names there, and
they love pasta.
Maybe I'd get to go stay there for a few days and do my research.
Research. Okay, so she's in Boston. Yes, she's in Boston because there's a lot of murders there, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, any big city, I guess, right?
Well, who doesn't want to read in that accent, too? You want to give yourself a...
You do. That's true.
A fun time.
I actually never even thought about that part. Like, and whoever I could get to play her in the audiobook version, they have a nice accent.
Yes.
Like, that would be fun.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that would be fun. Okay, so then it's an audiobook. Does it get picked up as a Lifetime movie,
Probably, but I don't know why it has to stop at Lifetime. I don't know why it can't be a summer blockbuster.
Sorry. Yes. No, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah. First of all, there's no other movies out right now, so maybe people should stop being so picky about my ideas.
Yeah. What else? You're out. You watched all of Netflix or whatever, so you might as well.
I've watched all of television.
Yeah.
It's all over.
Get on the Lorena Rigatoni train.
Oh, thank you for knowing her name.
Oh yeah. Did you have a title?
Oh no, I didn't get that far. That would be a good idea though to come up with. Do you want to help me?
I'm trying to think. I don't know why I'm stuck on the pasta part. Like, and it shouldn't be a pun. It doesn't have to be a pun. I don't know what's wrong with me. That's what I was thinking.
I don't know. Something with crime.
Ooh, it's a wonderful crime. That's nice.
Wonderful life crime.
So yeah, sorry. Each book would be a different murder case, or there are multiple murders in each.
Each book would be a different murder case, or I mean, I guess it could be crimes, just regular crimes, but I like a murder case because I feel like her and I feel like Lorena Rigatoni and Now Shirley Ravioli, the the mortician, no, not mortician. What are they
Yeah,
called?
the they do autopsies, right? What is that
Yeah,
called?
that lady,
Yeah,
medical examiner.
medical
Yeah,
examiner. We're
yeah,
this is mostly us figuring out what the terms are, but yes.
yeah. I feel like they would forge a nice friendship, and so because she would always have to go in to Shirley Ravioli's office to get the autopsy report, and she'd be like, "Oh my God, Shirley, this week has been
Yeah, and then
And
Shirley'd be like, "Do you want some pasta?" And she's like, "Yes, of course."
yeah, yeah. I mean, Shirley probably doesn't have a huge appetite from working in the medical examiner's office, but I feel like they would have a nice friendship, maybe, and maybe even a little bit. Sometimes they get mad at each other because maybe Shirley Ravioli doesn't come out with the reports quickly enough. And, um, Lorena Rigatoni's under the gun from the department and she's trying to climb to the top of the ranks there.
Right.
So,
Well, and I think they would, that's a good, they're both females and I've never seen a ton of female medical examiners, but I don't know, in maybe male dominated worlds. So they would bond over, maybe
yeah.
Shirley Ravioli also has a chip on her shoulder.
Yeah, because she has to work with Bob Meatball and he's the worst.
Paul Meatball. He is German, but
He's yeah.
okay. That's okay. So yeah, so they can commiserate a little bit of having to work with mostly men.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the men are all going to be really stupid in my crime novel. I feel like I didn't think about that before, but now I'm just going to make them all really, really dumb.
Yeah, that seems fine to me.
Yeah. Just like they don't do anything right, that kind of thing.
Right. So maybe okay, so then maybe Shirley Ravioli can help her a little bit more than some of the other detectives. She's got more inside information because she knows what happened to these bodies.
Yeah, she helps crack the case every time, and so they really, by book 12, they might even be dating. I don't know.
You'll have to read them all.
Yeah, you don't want to cut out too early on this one. You want to get to the final book in the series
to figure it out. Yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that's ambitious already, which is good. You're like, it's a 12-book series. I like.
Haven't written one word yet, but there's a 12-book series.
This is how I pitched it. Yeah, haven't written anything yet, but
yeah,
Lorena Rigatoni, and you can't really go wrong with that. I feel like that's the most important part. Obviously, she's the main character, but she just even the name itself feels like she's seen some shit.
Oh, she's definitely seen some shit, and again, that's why she has a chip on her shoulder. That's all I'm going to talk about is that she has a chip on her shoulder, and and maybe there's an opportunity to get like a sponsorship from an Italian brand or something.
Yeah.
Maybe she talks about her favorite jarred marinara sauce or something from time to time.
Yeah.
And maybe they could help me publish the book. Now, I don't think books usually have sponsors, but this is groundbreaking.
Yeah,
so
this is different.
Everything's different. Yeah.
You're binge reading and, every other page there's a sponsorship at the bottom or whatever. And that would be pretty easy. At the end of the day, who is it? In Scandal, Olivia Pope always drinks the wine when she's stressed out. At the end of the day, she could be like, hand me the Prego, I gotta need to get my pasta. And then there you go. That's good. With the little
they'd have wine too. I mean, they're Italian. They'd have some red wine at the end of their night.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For a long, hard day. Mm-hmm.
You could get a wine sponsorship too. Why not?
Why not?
Is there I feel like I mean, of course, you have 12 books to do this, and so you have time. But it feels like they're either in the first book we get a little bit of her background and how maybe she became a detective, or maybe that there's some not a revenge story, but I don't know. Are her parents alive? That's always a good question in these situations.
I feel like her parents are alive, and she and her mom have a decent relationship, but her father left them high and dry a
Okay.
little bit when she was younger, and that adds to the chip on the shoulder, right?
Yeah.
So she has a little bit of a thing against men who leave people. So who knows? Maybe she investigates a man who murdered his family or something. This got dark, but
I mean,
it's a homicide book. I mean, it's not all going to be rigatoni and meatballs. It's going to be there's some serious shit to dig up. So, and her mission is to put men who screw over their families behind bars. So maybe that's the first book.
That's good. I like that. That's relatable. I think. Women love we love murder in general. I don't know why.
I know.
It really doesn't make any sense, but
I'm like the most terrified person of dying, like I don't want to get murdered ever. I mean, not that anyone's hoping to get murdered, but right, I have a very specific fear of it. So I don't know why I enjoy watching it happen to a lot of other people in a fictional world.
Right. And which one of those has come first? Did you watch a lot and now you're anxious about it, or was it the other way around? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. It might have, my anxiety might be coming from my reading and viewing habits, but
well, and that's
really thought about it.
But it's apparently it's going to work out to be research here for this. You really understand a bit more of the mind behind a murderer or a detective when you watch this type of entertainment. But I feel like that a lot with my friends who consume a lot of true crime or whatever. They are very adamant about locking all the windows and doing, because they've seen, this happened once in this episode and this happened once in this. So now I know how to plan ahead. And then they just stay in their bedrooms for years. But so it helped you do some research, it feels like.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of research that I've already done, and now you're encouraging me to do more, which I think is helpful. I've already obviously done a lot just on my own that's why I know all the terms for everything. So well.
Yeah. Okay. So so I didn't mean to offend you with the Lifetime thing. So if it was, because it does feel like it has a good, could be an Oscar nominee.
I like that you think I'm offended that you think Lorena Rigatoni could be a Lifetime movie. Lifetime should be offended that you think it could be a Lifetime movie.
I feel like I'm trying to think, because she's a lady with a chip on her shoulder. Everyone loves that story, And then murder in general is always pretty present in, I don't know, Oscar nominees. So if you had your pick of any actress to portray Lorena, who would you choose? You got really excited.
Oh my God, this is so exciting. I don't know. I mean, like, is Lorraine Bracco, like, is that a good idea? Hold on. Is that right? Is that who I mean? From Goodfellas? Come on. And she was in The Sopranos.
Oh, okay. No, I know who you're talking about.
I mean, I feel like I know that you guys can all see me Googling just to make sure that I'm saying the right thing. Yeah, I said it right. Lorraine Bracco. She'd be an excellent Lorena Rigatoni.
Yes. And her name's close enough anyways.
Yeah, because I want her to be, she's not in her 20s. She's coming up she's been around for a while.
Right.
And that's because the longer you're around, the bigger the chip gets. So we want her to have a really big chip on her shoulder.
Right. Again, That is an important part in this, is the chip on the shoulder.
Mm-hmm. I would also not kick out the idea of who's the woman from The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. Why can't I think of? Anyway, I'm the worst with names. Like, this is my problem. I could be like, the one girl, the lady,
right?
That's who should play her.
And I'm not great at guessing either, so I'm like, yeah, I don't know. She seems. Robbie's gonna look it up for me.
Thank you.
Well, yeah,
Thank
we need
Robbie.
I was gonna say a hardened Italian woman. She's yeah, she's got a chip on her shoulder for a reason. Not just because she's, I don't know, angry.
Or what if I just go fully, maybe I could change everything around about her and just Meryl Streep.
Oh,
But
there.
Meryl
Okay.
Streep can do like any accent she wants, I think, so she can
Could
really.
Meryl Streep doing a Boston accent would be wow.
Yeah,
I want
I
to.
mean,
I want to
make
hear it.
everyone want to take their pants off and watch that right away. Like it sounds amazing. So I love that this is already being made into both a film
Yeah.
and a television series.
Right, especially for you're like, here's a bad idea that I really haven't thought about, and it's nominated for an Oscar. All of a sudden, here we go.
This is giving me, honestly, this whole podcast is giving me a lot of confidence that is probably not going to be helpful to anyone, but it makes me feel good.
Perfect. Well, then it's our theory is that you got to have some bad ideas before you get to a good idea, or like having bad ideas isn't a bad thing necessarily. So maybe you just got to talk through it a little bit, and if nothing else, somebody will draw a picture of Lorena, what is it? Rigatoni.
Thank you. Thank you.
Lorena Rigatoni and her best friend, Shirley Ravioli. That sounds like a children's book when you say it like that.
I know.
Sorry.
Yeah, it really does.
Detective.
But with
Homicide
murder.
detective. Lorena Rigatoni.
Yes, thank you. Say that first.
Yes, that's good. Oh, I'm ready to buy it, and now you'll get a late night text from me with a perfect title because I couldn't think of anything.
I know.
I can't sleep.
Think of...
I had to think about this.
Yes, I'm excited, and then maybe by that time we can both post at the same time when this comes out. We can post on Instagram and say the title has been broken.
There we go.
Have broken the name of the title. Everything is successful.
Huge announcement, you guys. That is great. Well, yeah, I mean, we'll take suggestions too, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so you're
I'm open to suggestions.
Yeah, I'm always open to suggestions.
I'll give credit too. I'll give credit where credit's due if someone breaks the title for me.
Right, and also if anybody knows anyone at Prego or whatever, let us know.
Or if you guys know like Steven Spielberg or somebody like that just doesn't even want me to write the books, just wants to go straight to the theater, I'm cool with that too.
Yeah, we'll skip some steps. Or, Meryl Streep. I'm sure if you just pitched it to her and you were like, you'll do an accent you haven't done before, do you think you can do this?
I feel like if she was on Instagram, it'd be so simple just to DM this to her and it would really grab her. But
maybe that's why she's not on Instagram.
That's probably why.
Hey, Meryl, real quick.
Hey, girl.
Had an idea. What do you think? Oh, man. I'm always like astonished by people. I was on Beyonce's Instagram a couple weeks ago, and it's just a guy in the comments it's like, hey, check your DMs. I'm like, what?
I know. I see that all the time. People are like, hey, I DM'd you. And then you'll see, I get deep in comments sometimes because I just love reading like various levels of celebrity comments too, from like a Kardashian to like a Jennifer Aniston,
right.
Where people are just like, hey, I've written you a few times and haven't heard back.
Just wanted to check in, make sure you're okay. You haven't been responding to my DMs.
Hey, Jen, I guess you're busy shooting. Yeah, like so fun.
So, I mean, it wouldn't be the craziest thing she's ever heard, is what I'm saying.
Meanwhile, if anyone DMs me a title for this book, FYI, I will read and respond.
There you go. Yeah,
so, yeah. I'm not nearly as busy as those people.
Well, speaking of being busy, so you're back doing some live shows. If people want to look up your social media or your website or anything, what's the best places to do that?
Yeah, Instagram at Sarah Colonna 1, because someone got there first. And sarahcolonna.com is my website where all my tour dates will be slowly updating for sure, because dates are starting to come in. Monica and I just had a really fun time in Spokane.
We did.
It was only like a month ago, I think.
Yeah, it was, and it's interesting because things have like changed since then to more people or whatever, or less people wherever you are.
Right. So that's I know that's the main thing about trying to book clubs right now. It's like some are no, and then some change, and then their rules change, and they don't know. So it's slowly coming in. So just keep an eye on there, and that's where I'll post my dates.
There you go. Perfect. And of course, keep your eyes out for Lorena Rigatoni and
coming soon to a theater near you.
We're skipping the books. We've already decided we were skipping the books.
Yeah, I'm too tired.
It's all 12 into one movie. That's what it is. We don't
Yeah.
want none of this Lord of the Rings crap,
Oh
are
my,
they?
it could be like a groundbreaking 12-hour movie where each book is an hour and turned into a movie. People haven't gone to the movies in so long. They'd be so excited to sit in one for 12
That
hours,
is
wouldn't they?
true. Oh, that's a
Yeah.
great idea. And we filmed it over Zoom. So that would be incredible. A detective that could solve murders just over Zoom.
And I just and I just have a Meryl Streep mask on and I play her. Yeah. That's
And no one would know at this point. It's fine. Yeah, your internet just glitches. You're like, it's Meryl, I swear. It's not, don't worry about it.
you know, Zoom, it's so hard you can't tell. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show and this wonderful, wonderful idea that honestly I'm going to think about for 3 days at least.
Thanks. That's longer than I thought about it before I pitched it to my book agent. So thanks, Monica.
I mean, it seems like you guys have a good enough relationship where you're like, what about this? You know? And he could just say no. That was my favorite part of the whole story.
Yeah, I know it was mine too. I was like, oh, okay.
All right. Yeah, okay, so check Sarah out, go find her. However you're listening or watching this, subscribe, follow, whatever, give it a review. You guys know the things. We also have YouTube memberships available now on this YouTube channel, which has some behind the scenes of my bad ideas as well as full stand-up sets and different things like that. So you can join the membership that way. And check out Clutch Women also, clutchwomen.com. All right, but yeah, right now just keep watching Dumb Pitches.
You're weird.
Yes.